Hi, everyone. Welcome to Unity. I am Ken Rakowski, and every single week we take you through a drive through the opportunities from personal development, your social media, what it takes for you to become better than what you are today. And let me explain something, as I'll see Sandy in a moment. Why is Tesla the most expensive, valued car company in the world? You know, if you take Ford, GM, Audi, which is Fiat, and you put them all together, it still isn't the value of Tesla. Why is that the most valuable car company in the world? Because it's not a car company. It's a technology company. And because it's sold as a technology company, people say, well, wait a second, it must be different. It's something I need to get involved with, even though it creates something that is on four wheels. So it's all around perception. How do you change your perception, and how do you change the world's perception? So how do we become Tesla? How do we change the way we are so we become the most valuable person on the planet? And we're going to go through that today. Do I get to see you today? Huh? I do. Here she is. We get to see you. Sandy's joining us. Dum, dum, dum. This is my Tesla. You are my Tesla. But isn't that interesting? If you take all the car companies and combine them, other than Toyota, Tesla is more valuable than all of them combined. It's kind of mind-blowing.
I'd like to drive a Tesla right now.
Yeah?
I just hate going to the gas station.
It's kind of mind-blowing. Yeah, right. The whole idea. But today we're going to talk about what it takes for you to have those changes in your life, just to challenge them. We have a lot of people here joining us. So we're going to talk about the 12 most important personal development tools. Now, when we say personal development tools, often I say, Sandy, you've done the work. You've done the work. That's personal development. You've done the work. As if you were going to the gym to work out, to get in shape, to work on your pecs and your biceps and your triceps. That's doing the work. You have a full turnkey workout for you to be better on the inside. Did I say it right?
That's about right.
Yeah. You've done the work.
I've tried to do
but
the work.
It costs, in some ways, it costs a lot of money.
Well, it depends on how you go about it. I've learned from doing a lot of the work.
Yep.
You can do a lot of the work for very little cost.
Right. Like this right now, hanging out with us is going to do the work. So I wanted to talk about that whole idea of Tesla because they have changed the perception of the world around what they are. That stock is crazy right now. And the irony is it's gone up 30% in the last month. And nothing has changed in the company other than the perception. Yeah. It's a software company. Hello everyone, you are software. You are. You could all reprogram yourself. You could all change the way you are, and that's what we're going to do today. So let's have some fun. And by the way, this beautiful being of a human being right here, how you doing, Crash? Did you get in a little accident the other day?
Yeah, that's why I'm slow to start this morning. This hand's not working so well.
Yeah, we got a bike accident. Instead of hitting other people, we hit each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we protected everybody around us.
My right leg looks like a koi fish with all of the bruises and glittering gold flecks. And this hand swollen and not working.
You want to put in the WhatsApp group, the picture?
No. No one wants to see that. It's really bad.
Okay, so let's dive in. There's David. We have a lot of fun people in today. Yeah. Joette's in Seattle because she has a new job, which is pretty cool.
Yay,
it's love hearing all these upgrades. By the way, if you have time and you want to take your eyes away from us on the East Coast, in 13 minutes, if you put on the Today Show, you can see a whole thing about Peter Hurley, where he's being featured. It's good to have Peter on here.
Hi, Peter.
So I want to talk about this whole idea, and I want to dive after each one of these. We're going to go from the bottom to the top, and these are the most important personal development tools. These are things that you need to be conscious of, improve on, and move forward with all the time. I'm going to save the best for last, the one that really is super important, probably the most important, okay? But I'm going to go through these, and I want to ask you about them. And, of course, everyone that's watching us.
Okay.
You up for it?
Yes.
Okay. Starting from number 12 of the 12 most important, our first one is assertiveness / attitude.
It's so important.
Tell me about this.
Well, I would say it's attitude first.
Attitude?
Your attitude is everything. If you're in a downer mood, you wake up on the sunny side of the bed is what they say, right?
Right.
It just affects everything that you're doing. So you have to switch up your attitude right away.
So Bill Dorfman, who's been on with us a lot, the guy that, of course, sold his business for $1 billion, he created teeth whitening, Zoom whitening. He says every day you get to rate yourself when you wake up. You wake up, what do you rate yourself as?
A 10.
He says you always better say a 10. You get up, you get to rate yourself.
But I love it because it's so simple. He says you better say you're a 10. So even if you're feeling like a 1, you have to say that you're a 10 because it's about changing and reprogramming what's going on in your head. It works.
Yeah, every day you decide what your rating is. Let me just go to Peter. You know, Peter, of course, is our local celebrity who's in the group right now. Peter Hurley, who, if you don't follow him on Instagram, everything's a situation. We got a situation here.
Fumbling on Instagram. I got like so many messages from this thing.
Oh, is it blowing up?
Yeah, it's good. I didn't even speak. I just got a few sound clips, but they showed some other photographers, and one of the women running it with me got interviewed in Florida. So, but they took the clips from me shooting in New York.
You want to tell people what you're working on? What is it?
So we did an initiative where I run a group of headshot photographers that I coach across the globe. There's 17,000 of them, but most of them are in the U.S. So I just got a bunch of them to shoot free headshots yesterday. We were going for shooting 10,000 headshots in one day. We teamed up with Brookfield Properties, and we did it in all their malls that were open. And some people in California, they were shooting outside yesterday, which was amazing. And so we had over 200 photographers shooting 50 people each. And I don't know what the take is in the end of it, but it was sponsored by Canon, and people stood up, and every local news station pretty much got it. I was on a bunch here in New York City, but when the Today Show grabbed it, we were really psyched about that.
That's awesome.
So it's airing out there. It aired here at 8:20 a.m. in New York.
Peter, when you wake up in the morning, by the way, you live in a palace filled with women. People need to understand that. He's actually, by the way, he's just like Simon Man Ray. He's got 3 women he lives with. His 2 daughters and his wife, and it's Peter.
Do we count the dogs? I got Flounder here. Flounder's a guy. I got one guy. This guy. Say hello.
You named him Flounder.
Flounder. Well, he was named by the girls named him.
Flounder.
Yeah, I guess it was, what was it, Little Mermaid days or something?
Yep. So Peter, how do you wake up with a positive attitude every day?
I think you have to just every day think about the goal that fires you up. And if you wake up and you're breathing and you're like thankful for what you have going into it, and then you're going to go work on something that fires you up, you're going to wake up feeling like a 10.
But do you say, I'm a 10?
I never say that because I didn't hear it until now. But I will do that. I will wake up and be a 10 tomorrow.
That's taking action, and that is very assertive.
That is assertive.
I like it.
Yeah, but do you ever wake up grumpy?
Oh, for sure.
Really?
Oh my gosh, yes.
I can't.
Especially if I didn't go to bed early and had to get up really early.
I lay in bed and I have 2 choices: to hold you longer, okay, which I do love doing, or like jump up and start doing stuff, right? It's like, yeah. And it's a battle. I have a battle every morning. I do. Because I do want to hold you, but I do want to jump up and do stuff.
Yeah.
So
I'm really happy when I have to jump up and do stuff.
I just love that I have options in the morning too. It's like, yeah, that's great. So Peter, I'm happy to hear that. Again, people watch Peter's Instagrams because I learned so much from you. You take the mundane and turn it into something fun. Always fun on Hurley's Instagram. It is. Silly. Let's see. I'm wondering real quick, let's go to Aragna. How do you wake up every day as a 10 down in South Africa? How do you do that?
I kind of think about my day the night before. I try and give myself things to look forward to the next day, so I wake up in a good mood. I mean, the day doesn't always pan out that way, but at least I can try my best to start it out the way I want it to. So
the other day, I dropped my son off at the airport to go back to his Chicago home, and I was not happy. I was sad. Mm-hmm. And Sandy went up to me and she says, "You have permission to be depressed today." Because I was.
But only
today. That's it. I go, because I felt it. I felt like some separation anxiety. Mm-hmm. And she goes, "Today's your day to just kind of wallow."
And I was really smart about it. It didn't start until about 1 o'clock.
Yeah. But was I wallowing the next day?
Nope.
Not at all. because I changed my attitude the moment I woke up going, hey, I'm done with that, because that's not accomplishing anything. So she gave me permission, which in my mind gave me permission to experience that feeling, to not subdue it, but to own it and meet it and then say goodbye to it.
The mistake I made was I let him go grocery shopping. So now we have about 800 bags of kettle corn.
Yeah, I don't ever allow me to go. And I bought ice cream, which I never buy. Oh, my estrogen kicked in now, didn't it? Oh, my God. All right. So, Ragnar, you say it's the night before that allows you to focus on the next day so you can own it when you wake up. Right?
Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. How's the cold South African winter treating you? Is it cold?
Not as cold as where you're from.
Where I'm from. But it's cold.
No, it's actually getting better. It's pretty good. It's nice at the moment. So
it's great to have you here. All right, here we go. Let's go over at number 11. Number 1 was attitude. Okay.
And assertiveness.
Assertiveness. By the way, this was conducted a study of 27,000 people. It's a huge study. So first one is attitude, which was 3%. Next one is almost 4%. It's number 11 of the top 12 things. And I agree with this. It's purpose, passion, and vision.
For sure.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. When you write a business plan out, that's part of the actual business plan is to write your purpose, passion, vision out, just to understand where you're going. So if someone says, what's your purpose, passion, and vision? How would you fill in the blanks on any of those for you? Because you're creating an incredible platform, which we'll discuss a little later on. Do you have a purpose, passion, and vision for the platform that you're making?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Yes, absolutely. The vision is the most important part for me. Just because I have to see where I'm going in order to get there. So if I see it, I know what it's going to look like, then doing all of that busybody work in the middle is totally doable. Well, if you can't see where you're going, then it's just as overwhelming and you get stressed out and you're like, and it's hard to start. So you have to be able to envision it first.
Don't you know when you go on a trip somewhere, like you're going to go on a really cool trip for pleasure, don't you check it out first? Like you go online, oh, we're going to go to this great, beautiful tropical island. You see pictures of it, and you may have seen a couple of YouTube videos about the kind of cuisine they make, and you start to have visions of what you're going to experience. What's it going to taste like? You start to go through this whole process of imagining what it's going to be when you're there. That's why it's so important for you to have that vision, because it gives you then that passion to feel like you have that purpose to move forward. It's the same as that trip you're going to take, because you are going on a trip of this personal development that we're talking about. Yeah, that's it.
I'd like to add intention to that, Nick.
Tell me about intention.
I feel like when you have the intention to do something, you do things with greater purpose, and it helps you with your passion, and it helps get that vision done. So you have to have the intention. So what is
That
the
should
reason
lead
that
it.
you're doing it?
That should lead it. Because if I say, hey, honey, we're going to go to, we're going to Botswana. Yay! Why are you not happy? Even though they have the fourth
That's
most.
where I want to go right now.
Where would you want to go right now?
The Maldives.
You want to go to Maldives? Okay, Maldives. You want to go there, right? Is that where you want to go? So that's your intent.
Yes.
That's
my
the
intention.
intent. So what we do now
So my
is,
intention is to go on an amazing vacation.
yeah, all of us, right?
That's my intention.
And then what you do is with that intent, which is the ignition, let's get going. Then you start to say, hey, let's go check it out. And then once you start to visualize it, you go, ooh, I'm excited. Ooh. That's your passion, which is going to give you the purpose to do it. You got all that?
But the intention is, I said, to have fun. So it's not just to go and, ooh, I'm excited. It's to go, okay, what can I experience there that's fun? Go with that intention.
I know. But let me just tell you something. You know what the worst part of any trip with her is? What is it? Packing. Oh my God. It's almost like you don't want to go because of that.
Hey, packing.
Come on, get over it. I'm not kidding. If there's a way I can press a button on Amazon and everything's already pre-packed, the trip starts. It's awesome.
Because you might forget something and it gets me all flustered.
And then when we get there, she goes, oh, I've overpacked.
No, actually, I don't ever overpack. That's an incorrect statement.
I do.
You overpack.
Oh my God.
I always have exactly the right
I don't.
things for exactly the right moment.
I bring.
And I can go on a 3-week vacation with 2 carry-ons, one being a backpack and one a rolling bag.
Not
So
me.
boom, drop the mic.
Not me.
That's
not
why I hate
me.
packing.
Not me. No, no. I bring so many socks that I could literally give it to the population of that country we go to. Okay, number 10 of our 12 things when it comes to personal development tools. Number 10, you want to say it?
Oh yeah, families, parenting, and relationships.
Yeah, because guys, ladies and gentlemen, non-binary, you need to make sure they're there to support you too. Haven't you? So I'm an entrepreneur, everyone. And being an entrepreneur, if I go off and say, I'm going to go create a business, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And if I don't tell my friends, my family, and my relationship I'm doing this, the propensity of failure is actually quite high. You can't create something being you in the dark.
It's true.
No. So what do? Hey, honey, I am depressed today. I need some help to get out of this. Can you help me? Yes, you have some of these tools, Ken. And
I love how I sound like a man.
yes, Ken. Oh, my leg hurts so much from the bike accident. But once she has been hobbling, I'm just like,
I have.
she's like a broken robot.
My toy flex leg.
But you get that support, and because of that support, you are able to move forward. And what's nice is the support is kind of like training wheels. It keeps you balanced. Whoa, I'm getting off. What? What are you laughing at?
You're just really ornery today. It's funny.
Is it bad?
No, it's cracking me.
I'm excited about today. Today's a big video day. We're doing a lot of video shoots today here, right?
Yeah.
And I'm very excited about this, okay? I am. Okay, I'm very excited. So I'm excited. I'm a 10 today. Damn, am I a 10? I'm waking up. So make sure you really get your family involved in that personal development step. Get involved. Get excited about the things you're learning. My friends that go to like Tony Robbins and all those events, when they come back, they go, let me tell you about the hot coals I walked on, with the boards I karate chopped. Because it's all about that enthusiasm of making those changes moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what do you do when the family is a negative Nelly type?
Yeah, that's where the friends come into play. Hopefully you have a good relationship with somebody. If not, you know what you want when you start a relationship. I'm just going to tell you, and you know this for sure, when you go through this personal development phase, whoever you're with, when you're that negative person or you haven't really grown, you will see them change too. And it may not they may not actually change, but you've changed so much that they're not the one you want to see yourself with anymore. It's kind of fascinating, isn't it? Oh, Arachna says, me? Really? Are you going through that now, or is that in the past? Now. Woo, they're not living with you, are you? They're not in the other room. They don't hear you say that. No, okay.
You know, it's important with your relationships to see who is the one that's bringing you down. And if that's the case, it's always up to you to change. You can't change someone else.
Yeah, but what if it's your kids?
Lead by example.
Yeah.
That's all you can do, because the more you nag your kids or you nag your mom or your dad or your friend to be different, the further you're going to push them from doing that. So the only thing you can really do is lead by example. So if you're always being upbeat, positive, you're changing the way that you're behaving, it doesn't mean you have to be happy every minute of every day, but you're going in with intention, you're doing things with purpose, you have passion, and you're waking up at 10, they see it and they will eventually change. And if they don't change, that's okay, because you can't control them. Just continue to lead by example.
That's true. By the way, waking up like a 10, you're hearing that. So let's just review again. These are the bottom 3. They're all important. First, of course, is your attitude. Next is your intention, purpose, your passion and vision. And then, of course, is your relationships, family, your parents, parenting, and then, of course, the person you're with. Okay, here we go. Next. This is you. This is you. Don't you totally agree that's you? Right?
Wait, we're on number 9?
Number 9. You are so organized. You really are.
Yeah.
So
organization and efficiency is number 9.
it was pretty fascinating. I was listening to a series of billionaires the other day, and they said that the most important thing to them is owning their calendar.
So true.
Owning their calendar. And what they did is, one billionaire, by the way, billionaire is a big deal, right? They have an entire team that manages his calendar. I go, what are you talking about? Time? I mean, come on, you got Google Calendar. You can't just use that. No, but everything was strategic on where the meetings were, who they were with, what to wear. what restaurants they were going to meet. I mean, it was very, very, very strategic because I hire a team to organize me. So as he became more and more successful, he realized the organization of everything around him was crucial to maintain the path he was going in.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. So if you are kind of willy-nilly about your calendar, go, it shows that you're not caring about your organization. By the way, hands up over here who can improve. Me, right here, honestly. I sat there and I looked at my calendar. I remember when I was in my most depressing time of my life, okay? I put everything in a calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Even my workouts, how long they were, because I felt like I had nothing other than that.
Something you can control.
It was, I have to fix that. I have to, I'm not depressed. I'm very happy. Obviously, look at me, I'm 10. But I have a,
Oh my God.
I need to fix it. You're very good at a calendar.
If it's not on the calendar,
It doesn't exist.
it doesn't exist.
I know that. I know that. Boy,
It's so true though, because if I put something on the calendar, first of all, I have all of these devices, my watch, my computer, my phone. It sends me reminders like in 10 minutes, you have a call with so-and-so. If I didn't have that and I go into deep work mode, so I'm actually so focused on my work, I have no concept of what time it is. I don't have that reminder. I will miss phone calls. I'll miss doctor appointments. I won't work out. I just get tunnel vision. So having things on the calendar is really important. Also, in terms of getting stuff done in your life, you need to put things on the calendar so you're like, okay, today I have to do this thing. It's really important. You won't do it otherwise.
Well, it makes you efficient too. You're making sure your time, this goes back to Sandy's start. The T is time ownership, not time management. Ownership. You own those moments. And I think it's very, very important. Again, this is organization and efficiency. All right, number 8. Is it me right now?
It's so you.
Is it me?
Optimism, positivity,
Yes!
and happiness.
That is me right now. I am so happy today. I am. I'm very happy today.
I'm so happy.
Is it bothering you?
No, I think it's great.
I remember one time seeing this skit where there's this guy waking up next to his wife and he goes out of bed and he goes, I'm a morning person. I'm ready to go. Yay! And all of a sudden his wife gets up and she pulls out a gun and she shoots him and she goes back to bed. I kind of feel like that right now with you.
No, my hand hurts.
Oh, is it really bad?
Yeah.
Oh, baby, I'm sorry. That was part of the accident. But this is all around optimism. It's about being positive. Now, understand that there is a world for those pessimists out there, okay? There is a world for them. For example, I want a pilot to be a pessimist, right? The pilot that's flying my plane, I don't want him to be optimist going, yeah, I think we can get over those mountains. Looking pretty good about that. I want my accountant to be a pessimist. No, Ken, don't worry about the IRS or that audit. We're going to be fine. I want that pessimist to be in my life in those situations. But you get to be optimistic. You get to wake up as a 10. You get to have that positive mental attitude moving forward. Again, you put all these things together, you are moving forward when it comes to your personal development.
Yeah. So true. Very well put.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I driving today? I am driving today, aren't I? All right, next. This is something that's really important to me, and I realize that when I step up, when you step up, you'll see a change, and that is, and look what Peter Hurley just did. He's got all these people around the world that are doing these headshots. It is leadership. Leadership. Leading. That's very interesting. So I lived in Korea for a while. And I realized that in Korea, everybody walks in a line like this. They walk together because they're afraid to lead. Because in leadership in certain cultures means you have to have somebody behind you. And being behind somebody is actually disgraceful. So what happens is those cultures didn't produce lots of leaders. I mean, you sit back and you go throughout time and history in the Asian culture, it's hard to identify lots of leaders. Now we're starting to see it pop up because entrepreneurship is allowing people to be more leaders. But meaning, if you are leading, there are people behind you. Mm-hmm. There are followers. So when you sit there and saying, okay, I'm going to be a leader, that means you have to take the responsibility to know that there are people behind you that are following you. Yeah. Very important.
We don't realize the impact of that sometimes. So it's really important to understand that if you are in a leadership position, what is it that he says on Spider-Man?
Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly. I knew he would know. He's such a spidery nerd.
I love superheroes. Yeah, with great leadership, but it's true when you're leading. So it's fascinating. I mean, Moses kind of messed up. He walked 40 years going in the wrong direction in the desert. Thank you for that. But it would have made a good story then if they just got there right away. Hey, we're there. But understand, being a leader means you have people that are following you or behind you. So leadership, because as we start to go up this whole 12 things in personal development that are really important, it's taking more and more responsibility for who you are.
Exactly.
So leadership. Okay, here we go. Number 6. Okay, this one sounds so easy, but it's not. And I actually, no, but it's
not.
I don't think it is.
No, it's not.
And I think actually most women are this before men are.
Yeah. I can
Okay.
see that. Yeah.
And there's a reason. I'll explain why. You're going to go, what? It is knowing yourself. It's self-understanding. And the reason why I think women at a young age are more advanced on this than men, and you're going to think I'm ridiculous. You ready?
Okay.
Menstruation.
I knew, for some reason, I knew that's where you were going to go. I just felt it vibrating off of you. You're like, you're going to go there.
Well, because then they'll go, what's happening?
That's true.
You know, we might wake up in the morning with a little tent in the bed going, all right, there's a new muscle I got going. That's what they're thinking, okay? That's all they're thinking. You're going, am I dying?
That's true. Radna's just laughing.
But it's true. Women then have to investigate what's going on with their bodies to start to understand. And by the way, your figure changes.
Yeah.
Guys, you know, we're just like a tree going up. Women are wonderful. True.
It's true. We become more self-aware of our bodies and the way others perceive us and our feelings and emotions at an earlier state, which just keeps us so far ahead of you guys.
Well, but I mean, look at Peter. Peter, I'm just saying this because you got 3 women in your house, and you know they've gone through being kids to beauty queens, and they've gone through changes. They've been asking questions. They probably don't go to YouTube for those. They go, I'll talk to mom.
Oh, no, they hit us with anything. It's scary.
But right, do you understand what I'm saying? How women go through more self-understanding than most guys because of this?
For sure.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean,
Do you know yourself, Peter? If someone gave you a test on you, would you go, oh yeah, that's me? Would you know you if it was on paper?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love his.
Highly doubt it.
Yeah, I would know that guy. Is that my neighbor? Was that one of the protesters right there on the street by the Whole Foods where I lived there? I watch your stuff, Peter. I'm just letting you know I'm a huge stalker fan.
You do.
Yes, Peter.
All right. I
So,
know.
Peter-
I stopped with the Whole Foods and the mask stuff.
What?
Well, it's not eventful anymore, so I stopped doing that. There's no line outside of Whole Foods anymore.
Oh, right.
Not right now.
Never now. That will change again. Just wait till October. We'll have new gifts starting in October. It's true. So self-awareness. You pretty good with yourself? When did you get to know you?
That's a good question. It took me a while. I mean, I knew the basics of me, but to really get a deeper understanding of me took a while. I had to do some growth.
I'm not sure what's going on here. Let's go back over here. So you had to go through a change.
Yeah, I did.
But what made you go through that change? What were those things that said, yeah, I better know this human being I'm hanging out with?
You know, I think it was when I was at a certain point in my life where I stopped and went, whoa, this is not where I want to be.
Oh,
Why am I here?
Okay.
And that's when I went through a big shift of understanding myself. I mean, I thought I knew who I was. You go through this like superficial stage, but it was when I realized that my life was in a direction that I didn't want and I needed to make a change. I started becoming more self-aware.
Yeah, self-awareness is so important, everyone. Now that's the key. Understand yourself. And this is perfect. We're right in the middle. So let's just reiterate these. And let's see. Hi, I'm back. Please be so kind to forward me a recording to my email. Oh, well, okay, not a problem. Hey, let's go through. So first one again is attitude. Next is intent. I'm going to go with that, and that's purpose. passion and vision. Then it's your relationships, your family, your parents, and that person you're with. Your organization and effectiveness or efficiency, optimistic, being positive. Then it's leadership, and then it's self-understanding. Now we're going to go through the top 5. Remember, we're going backwards. So now let's go to number 5. So in a business, again, I'm looking at a business, we always look at what are your strengths and your weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what you are really not that good at?
That's a difficult question for me.
I know, because
I'm like,
it is so true.
What am I? Yes, I am not good at fixing cars. Not good at it.
But because you haven't tried.
Exactly.
That's the
so
only
right
reason.
now, if I were to try, I would not be good at it.
Yeah, anytime she does something, it's just, how'd you do that? So like right now, she is learning to animate.
Yeah, I'm really good at it.
But you didn't do it last week. You didn't know
I
how to
don't
do
know
it.
how to do it. Ask Ava. Ava.
Yeah. No, she's learning to animate. She just animated her own caricature of herself, and it looks pretty freaking awesome.
Ava just asked for one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's
Didn't
going to
you,
have one.
Ava?
Yeah, but
We never hear.
no, but that came out of nowhere. So I know what I'm not good at. So what I do is I make sure I have people around me that I can rely on that want to help me be better at that, or to take that on to make me more effective or more efficient with my strengths. So when you look at the whole idea of what really successful people do, they align with people that can help them be better at what they are to move forward. I want you to think about athletes. Really, really incredible athletes have people around them to take care of the things they're not good at so they can excel on what they're great at.
So true.
And that's why they get paid a ton of money. So I want you to really understand what you're great at and what you're not so good at, but know them. Don't just say, yeah, I'm good at this. Well, what are you not good at?
Okay, I have something I'm not good at.
Okay, I'm ready.
Doing it all. Because I can do so much, that I do so much, that getting stuff done requires help. So I'm not good at trying to do it all because I can.
Okay.
So for me, I have to acknowledge that, and I have to actually actively seek out help and allowing people to do stuff for me. That's a big one for entrepreneurs, because when we're in this space, we know we can do so much, or we feel like we have to do it all because someone's not doing it as good as we can do it because of perfectionism and other things. So you have to develop and flex the muscle of being able to allow other people to help you. So I'm not good at allowing other people to help me, and it's something I've actively been practicing on for the past few years.
I'm not good at doing my hair.
No.
No.
I'm good at doing your hair.
I know you are. I know, but you were injured. You went through
Yeah.
crash over here.
I barely can do my own hair this morning.
Okay, here we go. Number 4. We're getting close, everyone. Number 4. And we're going to talk about all these things. Okay, we will talk. Number 4 is communication.
Yes.
Oh my
Big
gosh.
one.
Tell me how many of your relationships have failed because of poor communication from you or the person you're with, or the career you had and your boss never told you what to do because they assumed you would figure it out. Bad communication.
Ooh.
Or that parent you're pissed off at because they never told you something that you wish you would have known.
Or that job you lost because you didn't communicate well to the client.
Communication, everyone, is one thing that makes relationships great or hideous and horrible.
It's so true.
It is.
Communication will mess everything up. All of my issues in my past, I look back and it can 100% blame it on communication.
Well, think about what's going on with COVID right now. We're learning new ways to communicate with one another. I just watched Tony Robbins do his huge event that he does in stadiums. He figured a way to get 22,000 people on a Zoom call with everyone's individual face there to communicate with all of them.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing what he did. Go look at Tony Robbins if you can on YouTube and look at his last video. It's incredible.
It's a 360 studio.
Yeah, 360 studio of everybody's face, 22,000 faces, and he's talking to them as if it's each individual themselves, but he learned to communicate a new way. And I think that's one thing we're doing. We're learning new ways to communicate. I think it's wonderful, by the way. I've retooled my entire business around a new way of communicating. But we can't just stagnate when it comes to learning to communicate. We have to learn new ways. That's why I think public speaking is so important. We do a whole class called Presentation 100% and how to present and own your presence.
Yeah.
So communicating right there at number 4. Here we go. Number 3, we're getting there. Are you getting excited? Yeah!
You worked too much today.
Remember, this is personal development. This is for you.
Mhm.
So when we wake up in the morning, we say we're a 10. What are we doing? We are motivating ourselves. See, I think motivation and inspiration kind of go together, and I think they're different. Motivation is that fire that lights you up. It's the caffeine. Oh, I got that motivation. Inspiration is the fuel that continues you to go on. So if you think about the idea of always saying, I need that jump start, that flint to get the spark, that's your motivation. Your inspiration is that flame that continues to burn.
That's a good way for me.
You like that?
I like that a lot.
Now that's why in the public speaking world, we don't like the term, or let me change that. The speaking agencies don't want to hear from motivational speakers anymore. They want to hear from inspirational speakers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fascinating because there's somebody that's named Joel Osteen. If you've ever seen Joel Osteen speak, he speaks in front of a stadium of people, and he's called a prosperity minister. Not a spiritual, not a religious, but it's all around prosperity, opportunity. So I want you to realize that if you can always motivate to start that flame, find the inspiration, you got all the power you need. It's endless.
Endless.
Okay, so motivation / inspiration. Motivation, inspiration. Motivation, inspiration. Well, let's wake up every day, because right now I got to tell you, I have all the caffeine right now to get going. I better keep it going throughout the day. And I'm pretty good at making sure I do, right?
Yeah, you do a really good job.
So I run in the throughout the day, and then I'll get on the bike, and I break it up throughout the day because I don't want to have that downward path.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been really good at doing time blocks around the calendar again, doing 10-minute chunks of things to make sure I'm always getting it, okay? Really important, because we don't have our teams around us that, because what do we do when we're in the office? We would have somebody walk by, hey, how you doing? What's going on? You don't have that anymore. So you have to motivate and inspire yourself on a regular basis.
But if it is difficult for you and you're not that person that can easily motivate and inspire yourself, but you know others can, then you need to schedule that in too. So if there is someone that will speak to you and kind of jumpstarts you and boosts you, put them in your calendar to say, okay, I know around 3 o'clock I have a lull, I need some motivation or inspiration. Contact that person or have them reach out to you around that time to give you that little jumpstart.
So what I do, I don't let them know I'm going to do it. Meaning I don't put them into a schedule for them to say, oh, Ken's going to call me at 2 o'clock. I never do that. And the reason why is because people go, oh, I got a 2 o'clock call. I just want to surprise them. And I FaceTime everyone. I don't like to do phone calls. And the reason why is because I get a hold of them. I go, hey, what's going on? And if I see Peter Hurley going, Peter, what's going on? Yeah. I want to almost be that little motivational pill to inspire them to get that energy to go on. There's 2 reasons why I love FaceTime or video if you're going to do WhatsApp. One is I want to see somebody's body language. I want to see that they're paying attention. They're looking at me. We're talking one-on-one as if we would do it if we're hanging out. Because when you call somebody on the phone, they could have an earpiece in, they could be typing, they could be cooking, they could be doing other things. I don't want to know about that. I want to see their face. And number 2, this is the worst one. It's sinister, actually. You know why I like to FaceTime?
Because you want to see me dive out of the way?
No. It doesn't go to voicemail.
That's true.
It just rings and rings. It's annoying. You got to pick it up. Damn it!
So annoying.
Freaking Rakowski's calling me.
And they know he won't answer any other way. So.
Yeah, and they know that if you don't answer, he's gonna call back. I better get it out of the way.
But that's for you, Ken. Not everyone is like you. So for me, I prefer phone call, and I prefer it being scheduled. I'm that singularly focused when I'm in work mode, deep work person. So if someone calls me in the middle of that, I break, and it's hard for me to get back into my mojo. So for me, I like to schedule calls. But I like to schedule calls with people who are going to uplift me or inspire me to do better. Ava is one of those people. So we'll have our scheduled calls. I'll know, okay, 3 o'clock, and it's not like, oh, I have a call with Ava at 3. It's, okay, got a call with Ava, I can reset. And she's the one that kickstarts me and gets me going. So maybe you're not like Ken, maybe you're more like me.
No, but I do it for people like you.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to schedule you on my
Just to let you know, when we started dating, she would pick up my FaceTime calls all the time.
This is the only way you would call me is on FaceTime.
I love it. When Apple announced that on like the iPhone 3, I go, oh my God, my life has changed. This is great. Okay, here you go.
Yeah.
I want you to understand too, because remember we have 2 more left, okay, out of all these 12. This 2 one is, let's call this, what do you do? What do you do? What is you can call it a job, your career. What is that thing you do? Now, the problem with most entrepreneurs, they go, well, hey, I'm a farmer, I'm a butcher, I'm a rocket scientist. They do everything. And the problem is because they do everything, they can't be focused. So what do you do in the world of, again, remember, we're software. Remember, we're software. That's why Tesla's worth a fortune, because it's a software company. You know what the software does. When you go off and buy or use Microsoft Word or Google Doc, you know that it's a word processing platform, or Excel or Sheets. You know exactly that purpose. But when you get something that's like, we're working one of my businesses with HubSpot, which is an insane client or customer management service package. It's encompassing, it's massive. I don't even know where to start. It's really hard. But because there's so much there, it's not easy to quantify. Once you quantify exactly what you are, then you could add more to it later on. Many of you are a jack of all trades. That's great that you can do that. Voila, right here, she's able to do everything. But she focuses in that thing she does until she perfects it, generates revenue from it, maybe breaks it off as another business, hires people to run it. But anything that what you do has to become that focus. If you're doing 3 things, good news is this, they will all eventually go away so you can get focused on one thing. Because if you're doing too many things, you will fail.
Yeah.
There was in the United States, there was a guy named Michael Jordan. He's still around. He is one of my favorite athletes of all time. Michael Jordan was one of the best basketball players ever. And Michael was highly focused. He was the first to show up to practice and the last to leave. Think about that, the best, and he's still the first and the last. I mean, it's amazing. So Michael goes, you know what? I'm a good athlete. I'm going to go try baseball. Did you know this?
Yeah, I remember.
He sucked.
He did.
He sucked. It's because he was trying to do too many things. Because he was still playing basketball, by the way, and he was doing baseball. He sucked. Went back to basketball. I think what we need to do is, Peter's a great example. Peter has perfected his headshots. He's got his own technique. It just works. He slays it. And then he goes, I got it. I got a team. They're working my schedule. They're managing. They're doing everything we're talking about. I'm going to go do public speaking. He incorporates what he does on the photography side into the public speaking. He's coined his own phrases, shabam, shebang, 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 shebang. He's incorporated all these. I will later. All those things he's done. I'm a 10 today, baby. I'm going to go after everything.
You are so grounded today.
Feeling good. So the idea of focusing on one thing, this is why stormtroopers suck at shooting. Okay, do you ever see Star Wars and they can't hit anything? Because they're not focused on one thing. If they focused on marksmanship and all, stormtroopers would be awesome. They sucked. They couldn't hit this. Come on. They couldn't hit a gigantic ship because they did too many things. They overworked those stormtroopers. I'm just telling you. The evil empire, you suck at getting people focused. They don't know about these 12 steps.
They don't, clearly.
All right. Should we reiterate or should we just go right after number 1?
So for number 1, why not? You're feeling pretty number 1.
And by the way, I just want to start with something Sandy always shows off when she's with a whole bunch of people. She goes, what is your stand? What is your swagger? What is your, when you stand, whatever that is, that stand What?
So funny, babe.
But you understand when you do this, right? Because
I
that
don't know what you're talking about
stand, the way you stand, shows your confidence. Oh, you know where I was going now, right? Your confidence exudes from you.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it's contagious in some ways.
It is.
If you're around a confident leader, she'll do anything with them.
Mm-hmm.
Confidence is number one. Confidence, this is, again, after all these people do the interview, this is 10% of all 12. 10% of all these 12 is confidence, meaning if you don't have confidence, I mean, could you imagine, a great leader going, yeah, I'm not really sure. It means like Napoleon Dynamite. No, you got to have great, matter of fact, really great leaders, even though they might be horrible people. Think about the worst people in history that have led masses of people. They had insane confidence. People follow people that have great confidence, even if they do bad decisions. It's crazy.
So true.
Right? How many people's books have you seen they got to number one? Go, how can this person get a number one book?
It's a horrible book.
It's a horrible book, but they got confidence. Man.
It can get you so many places. We were talking about this, like with pay.
Hey.
People believe there's a pay gap because men have more confidence when it comes to asking for more money.
I've told you this before, when Sandy and I go out to dinner, when we get to go out to dinner, and the check comes, whoever that the person that waited on, the waiter or waitress, I always ask them, what should the tip be? Go ahead, put it in there. Let's just say dinner was $100, okay? Expensive dinner. I go, what should you want for the tip? Women always say, why don't you just make it 15%, right? It's almost consistent across the board.
And the guys were like,
no, but I'll write
$30, 30%.
I've had one guy go, make it $100, and I'll give them $100. I will put in what they ask for, unless they say $1,000, forget it. But I always tell the women, because it's always women. I go, if you would have asked for 20%, 50%, or even 100%, I would have written it in there. So I want them to realize that their confidence, for some reason, they don't believe in what they did was incredible, and they could have been amazing. But for some reason, when confidence doesn't lead, you are really held back.
Think of the times that you were confident and the things that opened up for you. When you walk into a store and you have this beautiful confidence, the way that you speak to people, they go, oh. And they are more apt to help you, to serve you better, and to be better for you. So that confidence element is really important in what you do.
Well, obviously, you're launching this whole thing called Confidence Jam. You like that Confidence Jam? That's where that.
My jam.
That's where that.
I can't snap.
Oh, you can't.
No, that hurt. It's my jam.
Is it that bad?
Yeah, I can't snap my jam.
Let's see. Show us what's going on with that.
Black and purple and turning yellow.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad.
Supposed to get it X-rayed, but.
Try to get her to send you her picture of her leg. It looks like something from a dead person.
Oh, thank you.
It does. It looks pretty beat up. It is pretty bad. Okay, try to course.
Just stop right now.
Confidence Jam, standinginfocus.com. Okay, let's go through some of the stuff. First thing, Joette says, hey, how do I walk in your confidence without being intimidated?
Well, it's all about the attitude that goes with it. So if you're walking around, I'm going to get up here.
Can you do this?
Yeah, I can. I can hobble. If you're walking around, you're like...
No, that's attitude.
That's attitude, right? And you're kind of just being cocky and like whatever. But if you're walking around... Hello, Ken. Hello, everybody. It's so great to see you. And you're being happy and pleasant and have this beautiful energy about you. And other people are intimidated by it. That's an issue with them. So you just have to make sure that you're always going with intention, going with a place of whatever your intention is. If your intention is to serve and to help other people, if your intention is to make people happy and make them laugh, your confidence in what you're going to lead with is going to be far different than an intention of being the best at that situation or getting that thing that you want. So it's whatever your intention is and lead with that.
You don't have to look like a dick, okay? I want you to think about some of the greatest coaches ever. Coaches, like we have somebody called, going back to the Chicago Bulls, Phil Jackson, who was a Lakers head too. He had confidence. He was actually he was like a Zen master, and his confidence allowed him to create two incredible basketball teams, the Lakers and the Bulls, because everyone, remember, confidence is on top. That means, hey, he had it, then leadership was there. He relied on the people around him. He understood how to organize people. He had the purpose, the passion, all the things we just talked about. He was very focused at being a coach. He knew what he did. So if we look at the 12 things, it's exactly the people that you aspire to be. You go, oh, I want to be like that person. That person really impresses me. They have confidence. They know what they do. They are very motivating and inspirational. They know how to communicate incredibly well. They know their strengths, right? They have great leadership skills. They are optimistic on where they're going. They're organized and effective. They have great friends generally around them. They have purpose. They have vision. And of course, their attitude is great. Those 12 things are essential for you to be moving forward. Now, you may not do all of them well. Like I just said, hey, I'm not great at my organization side, my calendar. I need to own my calendar. I know this, and I'm going to improve it. But when you look at these 12, you know what I'll do is here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put this inside the WhatsApp. If you're not in the, did you? Yeah. Oh, I needed to fix number 2. I was going to call it, what do you do, not career, but okay. There you go. Hey, if you're not in the WhatsApp group, let us know right now. Put it inside the chat. We'll add you to the WhatsApp group. But these are the 12. And I want you to constantly look at yourself saying, how do I tweak this? How do I modify it? Which one do I have to enhance or fix of myself? Because when you look at the most successful people, and I don't care, I'm not talking about money, by the way. Success is a great family, their kids. Look at Esther Waziski. Esther is somebody that you need to know. Esther runs a school in Mill Valley, California. Esther, do you know about Esther? I think I told you about Esther. Esther's school gives every one of her students, it's the hardest school to get into, K through 12. Every student gets an A. What? An A? That's horrible. No. They get an A because whatever they turn in, if it is not A quality, it's given back to them.
Reject.
They can't get anything graded an A until it's A quality. Imagine starting at kindergarten, 1st and 2nd and 3rd grade, knowing every time you turn something in, going, oh, I got it back. It's not ready yet. Damn. So Esther is a single mom. She's raised 3 daughters. Now you want to talk about successful. Daughter 1 runs one of the most impressive series of hospitals out here called Cedars-Sinai. Daughter 2 created 23andMe, which is a biogenetic marker company, and she married Sergey Brin, who's one of the founders of Google. Daughter 3 runs YouTube. You want to talk about successful. Esther follows all of these 12 things. So is she a multimillionaire? Maybe not. Her kids are. But this idea of being successful means you are a successful whole person. What's this person saying right here? What we got going here?
Think of someone you admire. Write yourself advice you think they would give you from their point of view. This is Stoic Journal Prompt. Reminds me of what you were talking about, Ken.
Ooh, I like that.
That is from Matic.
Matic! I haven't seen Matic. Let's see. Where is Matic today? Hey, Matic, unmute yourself. Let's say hello to you. Where is Matic? Matic, where? Matic, turn on your camera. Let's see you. Say hello to us. Come on. Come on, Matic. We'd love to see your faces. We got a few more minutes before we do this. Come on, Matic. No, Matic. No, Matic. That sounds wrong. No, Matic. No, go on. I wanted to see Matic. Oh,
see what happens when you don't show up? You're now nomadic.
Do we have Nomadic? Matic.
Oh, he's there.
Oh, hey, Matic. Hey, Matic. Where are you located?
Hey, what's up? I'm good. How are you?
Where are you located?
I'm in Barbados.
Barbados.
Yeah.
Hey, Matic, I love what you just said. So are you doing this yourself?
Yeah, I found it. I had heard about it before, but I found out about it again last night. I was doing some research basically on, I think it was Marcus Aurelius, and he talked about how he started his day, and this was one of the prompts that he did in the morning, which he had several different prompts, but this was one of them, and I thought it was really insightful. I was thinking about what you were talking about.
Well, you like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The advice, someone you admire with the advice they would give you, right?
Yeah.
I like that. Thank you so much. By the way, you got a hurricane coming your way?
Yeah, we have some bad weather coming on Saturday afternoon. I don't think it's going to be too bad, but you never know when it comes to us.
Yeah, you get some crazy weather patterns on there. You really do. Maddox, thank you so much for chiming in. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So how did you find out about Unity?
Amalia, I think you have spoke to me, and Amalia, she is my girlfriend, so I found out about it from her. I think we were together the last time I was on the call.
That's awesome. Well, I'm happy to see you here. Hopefully you're here every Thursday.
Thank you.
I'm here all the time now.
Yes. All right. So before we go, I want you to check something out. Everyone, I want you to go check out, and I'm not trying to do a plug for you, but I am going to kind of do a plug for you.
For me?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, baby.
Sandy in focus. You like that focus like a lens? Get it? Because she's also a photographer, but also you being in focus. SandyInFocus.com. She's put together this awesome quiz that talks about your personal brand. Now, the reason why this is important, all of these things that we talked about will allow you to have a great personal brand. So that means when you walk in a room, people go, oh, I know what you do. I know who you are. I feel that confidence. Like when you meet Peter Hurley, which I hope you do eventually, Peter knows what he does. He exudes confidence even in his crazy way. He does.
Even with a dog named Flounder.
Flounder, yes. But he had nothing to do with that.
No, but he owns that dog confidently. You saw the way he showed it off.
Yeah, I did. He did. I like that. But when you have your brand, what you do, who you are, you own that space even better. You wake up with purpose, by the way. Do you have a good personal brand? On Sandy's quiz, which I love, by the way, I really do. I learned more about myself on that quiz because I didn't know some of those songs that you say, but you got to go check it out. Take the quiz.
Even if you don't know the songs or you don't know the movies, the titles are indicative of what they mean. So just look at the graphic and look at the title. And
Cloudy Chance of Meatballs. No, is that it?
Yeah, Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs.
What is that? Well, you can find out. Go to Sandy in Focus, do that. Hey, I really appreciate you joining us. I know it's sometimes it's tough for you guys to be here. I know some of you actually pay more because of bandwidth issues where you're at in the countries that you're at. Somebody actually has to run a generator to allow their internet to work so they can watch us.
Oh.
So thank you
Very,
so
very
much.
Smart.
Ava, thank you for being there. And if you're not in the WhatsApp page, our group, make sure you put your phone number inside the chat right now, and then we can add you to the WhatsApp, or there's a link in the chat that allows you to add ourselves. Can you put that real quick, Ava, before we say goodbye to everyone? So put our WhatsApp in there. You can add yourself. Any last words from you?
No, but thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you, and we love seeing you every single week.
Yep, every single week. We'll be back with you next week. Everyone have a great 10-day today, and we'll see you all later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.